beat, you lose the rhythm.
So last night after the game, nothing falls in. This is the song I was singing. I went and talked to a lot of the players. And this is important because this is way more than football. This is historic. And like I tell Rashid, the greatest football player to ever play at this university, and this incredible historic turnaround. You know, and I've been here the whole time. I talked to the university president. Let's get out. Me and Brad are friends. He's the best thing to happen to this university since Clyde Cooley. I says, you miss the beat, you lose the rhythm. Don't get your head down. You guys change the world. To break this culture? Oh, I know this culture like no other. The most corrupt, dirty, nasty, rotten, filthy athletic program in the country, bar none, was the WE-ber State football program. And I mean corrupt, dirty. I did the play-by. Go ask Trevyn Johnson. You know, he witnessed this turnaround. I did the play-by-play and sit there and watch this nightmarish nightmare go on. Sex for grades, freaking coaches, and, you know, the buddy-buddy plan. I mean, it was disturbing what I watched. I stood right here with the legendary Clyde Cooley. By the way, young Cooley who quit, there's a big piece of not being as good as last year. I don't know what went down there, but he was a great player. Josh Davis being hurt all year, big piece. But these games have come down to luck. I mean, they've lost, and you can say whatever the fuck you want. You know, this sweater that I wear is the original colors of WE-ber State. Now, we're the original colors, green and yellow. This sweater's 100 years old. In fact, it's 101 years old. I still wear it. I don't buy in their slave-made gear fucking paradigm. WE-ber State was one of the last places in the country, basketball, that got rid of United States American-made clothing. The original colors, from what I understand, were red and white. Tomato love. This is important because the legendary National Press Corps, the press club, John Hurley, who I was friends with, and I met him 8 years ago right now. I didn't know he died until that picture popped up on my Facebook page on 8 years ago. You miss the beat, you lose the rhythm, nothing falls into place. Only missed by, we knew coming in, this league is that competitive and that good from top to bottom. You beat the shit out of a team 4, 5, 6 years in a row, which WE-ber has done at their house. I mean, just beat the shit out of them. A lot of these players are seniors, including that quarterback. They remember getting this shit beat out of them by Adam Rodriguez and crew. Oh, they come ready to play. They're fired up in your house. I mean, these are young athletes. They don't fuck around. And so, I said it, and I'm going to stick to it. You know me, the Wattis curse. I sat right there and watched Trevyn Smith's brains pounded in. He was the greatest football player in the history of this 102-year program till now. Lightning Rashid has passed him. You know, this team won the Big Sky Championship 4 years in a row. From the worst, most corrupt, dirty, rotten, worst team, Jody Sears, Graybill's still around, but Jody Sears, the worst coach in history. I mean, I watched this nightmare. Sex for grades, money missing. Bruce Hanley, standing right there, clear back in '94. There's a famous interview on Sports Illustrated. I'm standing there, I work for Bruce. His brain was going. I walked into his office one day and he didn't even, work for him. I mean, graduated his class, taught for him. Kevin needs to talk to you. Who are you? He donated his brain to the Foundation of Serious Brain Injuries from NCAA football players. I invented the NCAA movement. You know, why do you think they sold their radio signal right there? There is no 88.1 The Beat. That's why you can't find Kevin Blanch no more. And our great call, all the work that me and Manny Gonzalez did for all those years. For free. For free. I sat right there I was so pissed. I remember talking to the coaches. I know a lot of these players personally. And I says, you're really going to honor Ron McBride? You're really going to put Ron McBride in our Hall of Fame? Okay. Would I? So at halftime, they do the ceremony at the game that We-ber should have won that cost them this Big Sky Championship game. And Nick Chernus honored him? Yeah, of course. Nick Chernus had 1,600 yards. 1,600 his career. Trevyn Smith had 5,000. Trevyn Smith had 28 touchdowns in one season. He was an animal. I talked to Brad, well, let's do mental health awareness. I mean, this university, we have so much to freaking fertile ground. The activists, I helped organize the sit-in. I'm involved with it. I mean, these young people are awake. They're awake. I said right there, you will not win another fucking game in this fucking house. This is the worst fucking karma I've ever fucking seen. I told coaches that. I told everybody. I've told Brad that. I've told everybody. Not to mention Fama K. Brody. Not to mention Walt Masaka, but okay, you're not going to put him up, what, because he got addicted to drugs? I wonder why. Boom, boom, boom. He's a local. 4 kids. Fucked up? Oh. A handful? Then some. Then some. I knew him well. Second best player I ever seen in my life play on this field. That's been passed by Rashid. Lightning Rashid's the greatest player in the history of the program. That's unarguable. Undocumented fact. 4 Big Sky championships. He'll get his 4th All-American award. And think about just the fact of his kick return touchdowns. And he's playing with quarterbacks that have been, you know, he hasn't played with some marquee, lighted up, big arm quarterback. You know, Jay Constantine, I like Jay a lot. But he wasn't the big arm guy. You know what Rashid would do? Well, he would have had 200 or 300 freaking yards just yesterday alone. It's incredible what these young men have done on this team. And I tell them that this is way more than football. The cultural shift that's happening at this university, it's happening in this country. Oh, but we have to finish the fucking job. Put his name up there, Trevyn Smith, and do Mental Health Awareness Month at We-ber State University. You know what kind of suicide rate we have in young people here? You know what kind of, I mean, suicide by cop, is that what happened to him? He fought him. Died in a jail cell on 4th of July, 2019. He was on the camp same time as Willard. So, John Hurley, I'll post this picture. He and I together came to my speech. This launched the Million Mass March, which was incredible. Him and Goldie Hawn. He come up to me after and he says, we talked, great speech, Kevin. You know, he told me a story. He says, I want to tell you a story, Kev. This is the head of the National Press Club. This dude, he says, you know, beyond nuclear and these guys, I see Kevin Camps at all these parties. They're supposedly they're not anti-nuclear. You know how much he pays himself? They're in every beltway clique there is. That's his words, not mine. Kevin Camps told our group that he was abolitionist. He wasn't an anti-nuclear activist. Of course, it's been called controlled opposition. Kevin, I grew up in Mississippi. My daddy told me, you beware of men in white robes with hoods. He says, after being head of the National Press Corps, who's the mouthpiece for the United States Supreme Court, let me tell you something. You beware of men and women in black robes with gold trim. And he says, I'm not kidding. I says, hands up, no nukes. We are. College athletics is not about fucking winning. That's where we've lost our way. Cal athletics is the development of young men and women. More comes out of losing than winning. Winning all the time is not healthy. Ask the freaking receiver for Alabama and the Raiders. Where's he going to end up? Ask the Chiefs. That wouldn't really be. His wife went here. He played here, Andy Reid, BYU, but his wife went here, We-ber, And we have a lot of incredible alumni. We ignore them. We shadow ban Fama K. Brody. We shadow ban Wat Masaka. He went here. They're from here. We shadow ban Trevyn Smith. We shadow ban Kevin Blanch. I remember when Jay's wife was surviving a much lesser leukemia that I have, and thank God she survived. And I'm a huge fan of Jay Hills. I'm a huge fan of the entire coaching staff because, you know, we get pissed and whatever because we're fans. But what they've been able to do, it's like one of the coaches walked up and he says, "Hey, Blanch, you know, we talked after the game." He says, "Appreciate everything you do." I says, "Yeah, I appreciate you guys. We got the hardware to prove it." This is, I call it the snowball. I stood right there with Hanley when they interviewed him. Sports Illustrated. What's the chance of turning this dirty, rotten, corrupt, filthy, bleeding money, nightmarish football team around? This is an All-American who played here. Where's his name? He says a snowball's chance in hell. Go and pick up my grandsons. They live right over here. You know? I pound this into their brains when it comes to sports because they are athletes. And a lot of these players have gotten to know these two young guys who were born the same month as Fukushima. The nuke energy is, I call it the Wallace curse. You know, we'll end it. We're going to end it. But college athletics is not about winning. I want every player that played on these teams the last years and that turn around Jay Hill, Matt Hammer, and these guys have orchestrated. I'm very proud of you guys. You know, it's not about money. I don't get any money. I get a cancer bill for $1.8 million. I'm stuck here because I'm tied to that hospital for another 3-4 days. And I'm born and raised here. I've been on this campus since 1968. Before that, I shook Bobby Kennedy's hand right there. You know. So, your football team doctor, you do know he's my doctor. He's my doctor. Which has figured out a lot of stuff. I mean, some of the injuries that I've had post-Fukushima, you know, he tells all the young interns, your team doctor, he'll tell them, "You want to see a resume? Come here, Blanch, show him your resume." College athletics should not be about winning, and fuck the NCAA. It isn't about winning. It's about the developmental, mentally, physically, socially of young men and women. And that's what this school's up to now. They're doing a very good job at it. Snowball's chance in hell. So the legendary John Hurley, I just found this out, died this year. I didn't know that. I love that guy. He was a gem. Get your 100. And by the way, be the first team that goes back to me. Coleman, right here in Ogden. I have some of that old Ogden High Letterman jacket. They made it that I have. Have them make your uniforms. You know, let's be the trendsetters on this university. And that's what I told Brad. You know, let's be the ones. I mean, I'm not on a payroll here. I haven't been for a long time. I graduated here. I went to school here. I taught here. I mean, but this is a community. Bring it back. Let it be the community. I'll send this to the players. You're way more than what you've been able to do here over these years, especially these 4-year seniors that are here. Rashid from 619, you know, I grew up in San Diego and here also. Go back and forth to 801, and who knows where we'll all end up. I sure never thought I'd be here still. I thought I'd be in Vienna. But, you know, cancer, open heart surgery. Gotta go with that left, Jerry Carding. Oh, all those players playing in Europe off the basketball team. Wow. Let's honor Trevyn Smith, and we'll break this home-field curse. That was disrespectful as hell what they did to his family and his children. Let's have Mental Health Awareness Week here. Let's give football players, the NCAA, let's turn the tables on the NCAA and say, hey, you give us mental health and physical health care, anybody who wears a uniform in college athletics. For that matter, I say every student ever walks into a university for life. It's the least we can do. It can't be a one-way street. Fuck the NCAA. So I told the players that last night, the ones I talked, keep your head down. You change the world. what you're able to do. Stay tuned.